Hi there, Sugar Snaps. Welcome to the studio. If you're new here, welcome in. My name's Brittany. Super glad to have you. My channel is all about basket weaving, natural dyeing, and other fiber arts. And today I want to talk about how I typically set up my workspace for basket weaving. The workspace that you work in will affect your comfort and your progress in your weaving project. So having it well laid out is important for your own physical comfort and your mental comfort as you're weaving. So let's dive into some of the different steps that I do to set up a comfortable workspace. First off, I am working at a standing table. So this is a table that I can raise and lower. It has a hand crank, so I can either lower it so that I can sit at it, or I can raise it like it is right now so that I can stand next to it. I prefer to weave standing up because I'm able to move around more fluidly and it just feels more comfortable. If you're unable to stand or are unable to stand for long periods of time, it's totally possible to weave sitting down up against a table, or even to weave in your lap if a table is not an option. You can also weave sitting on the ground. I love weaving outside. I'll lay a towel down or a blanket down on the ground and sit with my weaving supplies and do basket weaving outdoors in the summer or when I'm traveling. And it's just a great way to relax and do something I love in an outdoor environment. Today, I'll show you how I set up my studio workspace, and hopefully this will inspire you to find a place that you can consistently weave baskets, or just be able to know what kinds of things help the basket weaving process. The first thing I do is, raise my table to the height that I want it. Typically, I want it so that my arms are at about 90 degrees. If I'm doing lashing or something where it raises my arms up to, or it lifts up my shoulders, then I'll lower the table so that I can do that without scrunching my neck or causing back pain. There's a happy medium between being hunched over a table that's too low and reaching over your head trying to do something that's up higher than your shoulders. So finding that happy medium so that you're not wearing out your back and tiring yourself out needlessly is very helpful. So once I have my work table set to the right height, then I lay out a towel, and this towel is what I will be doing my basket weaving on. This is a bath towel. I fold it in half and set this in place. And this will catch any drips as we're working with damp or wet reed, because we'll be putting the reed in a bin of water to get it damp and pliable. Having this to catch drips so you're not causing a wet work surface is really helpful. The next thing I do is lay out a hand towel, fold it in half next to my bath towel so that then I can put my water bin on top. And I'd fill my water bin halfway with lukewarm water in preparation for soaking the reed. And then I fill a spray bottle with water and set that aside as an additional way to dampen my reed. My spoke weight goes to the side so it's easy to grab but out of my way. If I'm using glue, I'll set it off to the side just so I can grab it, but it's out of the way because usually it's one of the last steps in the process. Then I have my reed cutters right beside my spoke weight. I put my measuring tape off to the side, my knife off to the side, my straight tip packer and pencil over by my spoke weight, and then my clamps I have in a little Tupperware, and I'll set those off to the side, out of my way, but somewhere that I can reach easily. Something that I really despise when doing a project is getting into the middle of my project and getting into the flow and then realizing that I don't have a tool or a material that I need to continue my project, and I have to run to another part of the house or dig through drawers or try to find that thing. It just kind of knocks you out of that creative flow, and it's frustrating, especially if you can't find that thing that you need. So I like to have and store all of my tools together so that I can just open the drawer that all my basket tools are in, pull them out, set up my workspace. I know where everything is laid out. So my muscle memory is set. My spoke weight's over here, my measuring tape's over here. I have a spray bottle that I can grab. You can do some things without even looking. You can just reach and grab. It makes the process a lot more straightforward, and that muscle memory helps you to be able to focus on weaving what is right in front of you. A couple notes on your posture while you're basket weaving. I'm not a doctor or chiropractor or physical therapist or anything like that, but I've just learned some things about the way that I basket weave. So like I was saying earlier, if you're hunched over a table that's a little bit too low, your back will start to hurt. Your lower back will ache. And it's a real bummer to be feeling pain while you're doing something that you enjoy when you could avoid it. So again, sitting at a table that's at the right height, or standing at a table that's at a better height, or at a countertop will really help that lower back pain. And then adjusting where you're working or how you're working as you do each step. So if you're lashing, that usually means your basket is raised off your surface, and so you're doing this kind of motion with your arms up a little bit more. The bigger the basket, the higher you're lifting up and down. So maybe putting the basket in your lap and sitting down to do lashing, that might help you lower your arms just to not wear out your shoulders and tire out your traps in your upper back. Another thing to keep in mind if you're standing is don't lock your knees. This summer I was involved in several weddings, and every single time the pastor reminded us to not lock our knees as we were standing up front, because you don't want to just randomly tip over because blood stops flowing to your legs. Yeah, so that seems like a good tip. Oh, and one last thing that I didn't mention, but that is super handy to have. Under my workspace, right down here, I have a little trash can, and this is great to catch all the little shavings or tidbits of reed that are just too short for any kind of project, and I throw those in that garbage can underneath my table. The little shavings and bits of reed that are too small for a project, I like to compost. If you don't want to do composting with them, you can just throw them in the trash. Longer pieces that are 12 inches or longer, I will hold on to and either make Carolina snowflakes with those pieces or use them as lengths to weave into baskets. So this is how I set up my workspace. If you've done any of my basket weaving tutorials or technique videos, you'll probably recognize this layout. This is pretty much how I lay out my workspace every single time I weave. I hope you're able to use this as inspiration to design or lay out your own basket weaving workspace. Just like anything, having a space that you go back to regularly to set up the same way to weave will help you build the habit of creating a creative practice of basket weaving. And that is a great way to connect with your creativity, do something that creates a beautiful product. It's satisfying when you finish a basket and see something that you created yourself, and they're useful. You can use them throughout your home, use them as gifts. There's just endless possibilities of ways to use your hand woven baskets. If you are looking for a resource of where to purchase the basket weaving tools, check out the description below. I have my resource page on my website, textileindie.com, as well as my Etsy shop, Textile Indie Supplies. You can resource the shears, straight tip packers, spoke weight, things like that, so that you can do your own basket weaving. If you want to know more about each of the different tools that I use, check out this video up here. It's in the description below as well, on all the tools that I use in basket weaving. It's a very basic list. I like to have it minimal so that it's easy to pull out, easy to store, easy to use. Check out the description below for more basket weaving playlists, resources, tutorials, and lots of other goodies. I also have a basket a month club. You can check out my website at this link to learn more about that. Every month I will send you an email with a basket pattern, an instruction manual. Some tiers include a video tutorial that goes through the entire process of how to weave each individual basket. And if you sign up for higher tiers, I will ship you a basket weaving kit that includes all the materials to weave one of that month's basket. So check that out on my website if you're interested in weaving 12 different baskets throughout a year, and each one builds consecutively so that you end up learning lots of great basket weaving techniques so that you can design and weave your own baskets. Thanks for joining me in the studio today. I hope this is helpful for getting you set up with your basket weaving workspace. Until next time, happy weaving.